the Israeli cabinet greenlit a pretty major plan for the Gaza Strip.
That's right. A very significant decision.
What's the core idea here? What do they actually approve?
Well, the plan essentially involves Israel capturing the entire Gaza Strip.
The entire Strip.
Yes, and not just capturing it, but maintaining control over it indefinitely.
Indefinitely. Wow, okay. That sounds like a big shift, a real escalation.
It's definitely being described that way. Significant escalation of the conflict, yeah.
And what are the stated goals? Why are they saying they need to do this?
The official aims mentioned are twofold primarily, defeating Hamas completely
Right.
and securing the release of the remaining hostages.
And they see capturing and holding the territory as the way to achieve that.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
The plan explicitly mentions, and this is a direct quote, I believe, capturing of the Strip and the holding of territories.
Got it. Now, beyond the military aspect, there's a whole other dimension here concerning humanitarian aid, isn't there?
Yes, a very critical and sensitive part of the plan. It aims to prevent Hamas from being involved in aid distribution.
Why is that? What's the reasoning?
Israel alleges that Hamas diverts aid for its own purposes. It's important to note, though, that aid workers on the ground generally dispute this claim.
Okay, so if Hamas is out, who's in? How would aid get distributed under this plan?
The plan suggests Israel itself would assume control over aid delivery.
Israel managing aid directly. How would that work, practically speaking?
Well, details are maybe still emerging, but it could involve the Israeli military handling the logistics.
The military distributing aid.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
And there's even been talk about potentially using U.S. private security contractors.
U.S. contractors. Interesting. How are humanitarian groups reacting to this idea of Israel controlling aid?
Not well. Not well at all. Humanitarian organizations, including the UN, are strongly opposing it.
On what grounds?
They argue it goes against fundamental humanitarian principles, neutrality, impartiality.
Makes sense.
And there's a real fear that aid could be weaponized, essentially used as a pressure tactic in the conflict.
So the UN isn't on board with alternatives either. I heard something about Israeli hubs.
Right. The UN already rejected a separate proposal for aid distribution via Israeli-controlled hubs. They basically said it wouldn't work. It would leave too many vulnerable people without essential supplies.
Okay, so strong international pushback on the aid front. What about within Israel itself? Is everyone behind this plan?
No, there's criticism domestically, too. Some opposition figures are questioning if indefinite occupation actually serves Israel's long-term security interests.
Yeah, what about the hostages? Does this plan help or hinder their release, in the critics' view?
That's another concern raised, the potential negative impact this kind of large-scale, long-term operation could have on efforts to actually get the hostages back safely.